All right, boys, it's been a long time since we have had a new PoE1 League, but it's finally here, and that means that we got to get you a couple good builds to choose from for League start. So let's go ahead and start. First on the list, we've got Volcanic Fissure of Snaking. Now, there are two guides for this, one from Tuna, one from Fubgun. I would say that if you are like a newer player, maybe don't really exactly know what's going on, I'd probably choose the Tuna build. It seems like it's a little bit more tanky. But if you're a juicer, if you want something that's going to be like a super crazy high-end blasting build, Bubgun's probably the way to go. This is a melee build in that it is using a melee weapon, it is using a melee skill, but you are basically anything but melee. As said, with Tuna's version of the build that you'll see here, we're using things like Defiance of Destiny, he gets suppression, and all that kind of good stuff, so it'll be a little bit tankier, a little bit easier to pilot. When we come over to Fubguns, you'll see he goes all the way up to the super duper high end. We're using Yoke of Suffering and trying to get as much damage as humanly possible while still being tanky enough to survive. I would choose between these two. There might be some other ones out there, but these are most likely the more solid choices if you're looking to play Volcanic Fissure of Snaking. Next up on the list is going to be Mana Man, except this time it is Vortex of Projection. Ice Nova got hit pretty hard, and Vortex of Projection is the next best thing. I know that Hierophant got hit pretty hard in a bunch of ways, but this build was already so overtuned that it doesn't really matter. It's still going to be insanely strong. It's still going to be insanely tanky. Now, the POB that I suggest, there's nothing wrong with Puget's POB, but the POB that I suggest for most people is going to be this one from Waggle. However, Waggle didn't put one tiny little bit of gameplay in this entire video. And I'm pretty sure if we look at the recent stuff, there's this video, but there isn't actually very much gameplay. So we've got this early SSF run from him, so you can kind of see how it's going to be playing in game. This is pretty much what you're expecting. Like, you can clear easy mobs with, you know, Frostblink. It's Archmage. It's Archmage Hierophant, just using a different ability is basically what you're looking at. It's going to be super tanky. It's going to do a ton of damage. It's not as overpowered as it was last league, but it's probably still like 80% of the way there. A super comfortable, super fast, super tanky, high damage, very good all-rounder. Next up on the list is going to be Explosive Concoction. I have a champion version of this, which is meant to transition into the wand build that I'm going to be playing. There is also a POB by Rue that I will link down in the description. He has been making YouTube videos now, but he doesn't have a video for this yet, so I can't link that. However, his is a Slayer. It's probably a little bit more scalable, but mine is meant to just transition straight into a Wander right away, so it's not as scalable, just a little bit different. This skill is insanely strong. Like, it does not scale super well into like the very, very high end game, but for getting your first 2 stones done, this ability is just kind of crazy. Like, I don't even know how to explain to you how silly this ability is. If you are fine with transitioning from one build to another, and you want to play any kind of duelist, you probably want to play Explosive Concoction. Next up on the list is going to be Poisonous Concoction of Bouncing. Now, this is a video by Jung, however, because Rue doesn't have a video for it, but it is going to be a Rue POB here. Extremely strong, it's pretty well-rounded. You're going to be able to do a ton of damage and scale a ton of defenses with this build. You'll see 16 million DPS, absolute trash gear. We've got like Fury Valve and Leper's Alm, Dendrobait. Like, this is like nothing gear. Tons of damage early on. If you want to play a Pathfinder, if you want to play some Poison, you want something that'll be good for most things early on and will probably even scale later when he makes more POBs, Poisonous Concoction of Bouncing is probably a good choice. Next up on the list, if you want a minion build where you just have a whole giant army of minions that kill your enemies for you and you don't really have to worry too much about it, the Zoomancer is definitely a good choice. The one that I'm linking here is from Helmbreaker. There is a full guide over on Maxroll that you'll be available to get. I'll link this down below. But this is just as many minions as possible, does a whole bunch of damage, super safe because, I mean, as you can see, the minions just kind of tank everything for you and you don't have to worry about very much. If you want to play minions, this is always a safe bet. The Zoomancer is a pretty good archetype. And that's going to be it for the video. Things haven't changed a ton, but a lot of that very high-end stuff has gotten kind of knocked off now. You're not going to see the lightning strikes. You're not going to see, you know, like the power siphon mines or anything like that. There's some new stuff, but also some old stuff sitting around. So I hope you guys have a good league start. These are the builds that I would choose from if I was going to be league starting, essentially, and telling like a friend to choose something. So If you can't find anything here, there's definitely a lot of other stuff that you can find. I know that Spicy Sushi has like a list of a whole bunch of different builds that you can choose from. I'm sure you can find that on Reddit or somewhere else. But anyways, remember boys, if you enjoy this content, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in raid class. And I'll see you guys in the next video.